السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Welcome to another dars, another lesson in دروس اللغة العربية لغير الناطقين بها. Today we're continuing from the earlier lesson. That is the section 2 of lesson 3. And before we start everything, let us look at the objectives of these lessons. So we have the objectives here. We're going to learn about antonyms. We're going to learn about antonyms. We're going to learn about antonyms. And an antonym is a word that means the opposite. That means the opposite of another word. So if a word means the opposite of another word, then we have antonyms. So we're going to learn some few antonyms in Arabic. We've already learned some of them, like jalisun. You are sitting. So if you are not sitting, you are what? Waqifun. Waqifun. Standing. So we can say waqifun is the opposite of jalisun, or jalisun is the opposite of waqifun. So we're going to be learning some more, inshallah. And one more time, we're going to learn some articles. We're going to learn articles. Definite articles. Remember, we said in Arabic, we don't have indefinite article like a, but we only have the in Arabic, only the. And then we're also going to learn, that's objective number 3. We're going to learn the difference. We're going to learn the difference between a moon letter and the moon letter. Let me say the moon and the sun letters. Arabic has 28 alphabets or letters. I know you are aware of that. And the 28 letters are divided into the moon, that is Qamariya, and then the sun, that is Shamsiya. And the nature of the letter, whether is the moon or the sun, determines how we pronounce or how we articulate or how we say the definite article. The definite article. Let me say the definite article. So basically, the moon letters and the sun letters has something to do with the definite article. It determines whether you're gonna completely pronounce the definite article or you're going to make the lam in the definite article silent. So we're going to learn that today. So that is objective number 3 in this dars. And then, as always, gonna learn some useful nouns. Some useful nouns in Arabic. And then finally, some adjectives. We're gonna learn some adjectives. So these are the objectives of this dars. So let's get started. And najmun, najmun, and najmu. Now this noon, na or noon, it's a sound letter. It's a sound letter. That is a shamshia. Now, how do we know it? Because right after the alif or lam, you see shadda, and then the lam is silent. The lam is silent. So we are pronouncing or articulating the a straight into the noon with the shadda. An. All right. So anytime the lam, right? Anytime the lam, that is this, is silent or neutralized, then the letter, right, in front of it, or the letter that came after it, that's after the lam, the letter that came after the lam is a sun letter, or we can say it's one of the sun letters. So if it's not a sun letter, then it's a moon letter. With the moon letter, you have to pronounce the alif or lam and say al, al, al. And there's a reason why the Arab people categorize their alphabets into Qamariya and Shamsiya, but this is not the time for us to talk about it. Inshallah, as we improve and then we go deeper into the book, we're going to talk about all of these. But for now, what you need to know is that there is a time in Lughatul Arabiyya or in Arabic language where you have to say al, and then there's a time where you have to make the l silent. And if you make the l silent, then you have to say a, and then you connect to the letter that is right after the lam, and then you stress it, you put shadda on it, and then you say an-najmu, an-najmu. All right. And basically the meaning is the same. It doesn't change it. A star and the star. The meaning the same, whether alif or lam is followed or a moon letter comes after the alif or lam, it doesn't change the definite article's meaning. It's the same, but it's just Lughatul Arabiya to a way of easing articulation and pronunciation. That is it. The main reason of the categorization of the Arabic alphabets into the moon and the sun letters is just to ease articulation or pronunciation. It doesn't change the meaning of the noun at all, whether it's the moon letter or the sun letter. So najmun, a star, and najmu. Rajulun, a man. Rajulun, a man. Ar-rajulu, the man. So you can see the L here. But because the Ra is a moon sun letter, I'm sorry, because the Ra is a sun letter, we have to make the lam silent. And you can also see that if the letter that comes after the la or the lam is the one of the sun letters, the lam is basically just a placeholder. The lam is just a placeholder. It doesn't have any vowel. It's just, but you must write it. If you fail to write it, it's a serious error in Lughat al-Arabiyya. But you must write it. It becomes a placeholder, and it is ignored in your articulation process or pronouncing. Let's say arra, arra. So you connect the a to the ra, and then you get arrajulu, the man. Deacon, deacon, adiku, adiku. So we can say noon, dal, ra, and then ta. They are all sound letters. Why? Because when they come after alif or lam, they have to take shadda. And again, the lam is neutralized or is made silent. So deacon is a rooster. So deacon, a rooster. Or some of you will say cock. That's the male. And then adiku. So here you have to say adiku. And another thing that you need to know is that even if there's no vowel on the alif here, you always assume it's fatha. Never read it as kasra or dhamma. It's adi, adiku, 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 the rooster, the rooster, the talibun, talibun, a student, talibun, a student, a talibu, a الطالب, the student. Very, very important. Now you can see that the ta has a shadda, and then the lam is neutralized or is skipped. You don't pronounce it. So you say ta, الطالب, the student. Let's read some more sentences from the book so that we can reinforce our understanding of the concept. So we have some sentences here. النجم النجم بعيد النجم بعيد and so you see that there's no vowel here, no vowel. You don't see vowel there. So always read it as fatha, right? As like fatha. So it's like this. In Lughat al-Arabiyya, they won't write it. You see that all of it, they don't have any vowel sign, but you assume it's fatha, read it like fatha. We don't put fatha on them. What we put on it is what we call asad sagira. But we're going to talk about it later. But here it's fatha. An najmu ba'idun. Right? Ba'id is far. Ba'idun, when something is ba'id in Lughat al-Arabiyya, is far away. An najmu ba'idun. The star is far. Number 2, ثاني الرجل واقف الرجل واقف the man is standing السكر سكر is sugar, so the sugar is حلو. When something is حلو, is sweet حلو حلو. So here we are saying السكر حلو حلو. The sugar is sweet. That's ثلاثة. الثالث, right? The sugar is sweet. That's what we need to write. The sugar is sweet. السكر حلو. When something is حلو, is sweet. Let's look at number 4. الرابع. الطالب الطالب مريض. الطالب مريض. الطالب, we know is a student. So here we are saying the student is sick. Some Britain, they'll say ill. The student is sick or ill. مريض. So when you are مريض, you are sick. الطالب مريض. Let's look at الخامس. Number 5. الديك جميل. Deek is the rooster. جميل, we said, is something that is beautiful. Something that is beautiful. Or it can be something that is good. Or it can be something that is well. Jamilun can also be something that is excellent. Excellent. Adiku Jamilun. So if somebody does something, you can say Jamil. Jamil means good, good. Jamilun, but the literal meaning is beautiful, beautiful. And when we say a woman is Jamilatun, means she is beautiful, right? Let's look at number 6. السادس. الدفتر جديد. دفتر. Let's look at دفتر. دفتر is a notebook. It's a notebook. Your daftar is a notebook. And your daftar can be your exercise book. Can be your exercise book. Daftar. So is جديد, new. التاجر غني. التاجر غني. غني. If you are غني, you are wealthy or rich. غني. There's a shadda on the noon, on the ya. Excuse me. غني. التاجر غني. التاجر غني. Wealthy. Or rich. So you can say أنا غني. I am rich. أنا غني. تاجر. Who is a تاجر? A تاجر can be a merchant. But in the modern days, we say businessman. Somebody who buys and sells or runs something is a تاجر. But merchant is a person who buys and sells is تاجر. Let's look at we did السابع. Let's look at الثامن. We have number 8. دكان. The word دكان has a shadda on the calf. We say دكان. دكان is a store. دكان is a store. Or it can be a shop. And in some Arabic, dukkan can also be a wine shop, right? It can be a wine shop. And dukkan, so in Arabic, a dukkan can be a specific place or a general place. It can be a specific place, usually where wine are sold or liquor are sold, or sometimes it can be general place. But here the meaning is general place where buy food and everything store. It can be grocery store, it can be anything. So dukkan is a store or a shop. مفتوح is opened. دكان مفتوح. الولد the boy. فقير is poor. فقير poor. الولد فقير. The boy is poor. That's the تاسع. And then العاشر, the number 10. Let's look at the التفاح. The apple. The تفاح. تفاح in Arabic is apple. تفاح. تفاح apple. تفاح apple. لذيذ. لذيذ. When something is لذيذ, it's delicious. Delicious. And don't confuse لذيذ and حلو. They are not the same. لذيذ is delicious. Or we can say yummy, right? As they say. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So لذيذ is delicious. التفاح لذيذ. And then sugar is sweet. حلو. Right? Well, apples, some of the apples can be sweet. But if you say something is sweet, we know you are talking about the sugary content of the thing. But if you're talking about the general taste of something, you use the word لذيذ. لذيذ. Now let's look at sentence number 11. هذه عشر. We have الطبيب طويل. الطبيب طويل. The doctor is tall. The doctor is tall. The doctor is tall. والمريض, the sick, right? The sick person. المريض. So the word مريض in اللغة العربية, let's explain this. The word مريض in اللغة العربية can mean the situation or the condition. It can mean the condition, or it can mean the person or the individual. So when you say أنا مريض, it means you are talking about yourself. But the marid can be the condition, like the sick person. Al-maridu, the sick person, right? So you can see that here, ana marid, you're talking about the condition that you are sick, or the situation, the fact that you are sick. But when you say ana maridun too, you can say I'm the sick person. I am a sick person. So here we say the sick person is short, right? Because if you say the sickness is short, that we don't know, there's no height for sickness, right? So here you're talking about physical human being. But in this sentence, up there, number 4, we have الطالب مريض. The student is sick. So here we are talking about a condition. So the word marid can talk about or can be used to refer to a condition or a situation of health. That means it's not good. And then the person, right, who is sick. All right, let's do some more. So ikra. So tamarin, these are exercises for you. I'm going to do few, then you can try the rest. Ikra waqtub, read and write, مع, with, or by. الضبط. الضبط here means vowelization, by voweling. أواخر الكلمات, the ending, right? The ending of the words. So in Arabic, the ending of the word or the vowel ending is very, very important. As we have realized, if you are right, if a noun is an indefinite noun, then it's more likely to end in what? Dhammatain. But if it is definite, it ends in one dhamma. So if I write again, let's go back. We write baytun, a house. And then I want to say the house. Then I have to say what? Al, right? And then I'll write al-baytu. Al-baytu, the house. Al-baytu, the house. I'll write al-baytu, the house. Very, very important here. So let's see what we can do here. Al-babu. Al-babu. So you see here, I'm saying al. So it means that the ba is what? Is a moon letter. So with the moon letter, you clearly pronounce the alif or lam, the two definite articles. al-babu. Now, here I'm going to say at-tajiru. I'm not saying al, I'm saying at-tajiru. So it tells you that the ta is what? The sun is the sun letter. At-tajiru. But because they have alif or lam, the ending is single dhamma. It shouldn't be double. An-najmu. And then I have to say al-qamaru, the moon. Al-qamaru, the moon. So using the same understanding, try if and see if you can put vowels on what is under this assignment. Let's move on. Imla. In Arabic, when they say imla, this is a gessive. It's a gessive statement. Imla means complete or fill out or fill in. Imla. Imla il faragha fima yali. Al faragha is what we call blank space, or empty space, or anything that is empty or a vacuum is faragh. So فيما يلي, the following, بوضع كلمة مناسبة, right? By putting in the appropriate or the right word. So here we have adjectives. We have adjectives. So we are supposed to bring the appropriate noun. So we have here ghaniyun, and then we have maridun. So you want to say is rich, is sick. Tawilun is tall, right? Hulwun is sweet. Ladhidun is delicious. Qasirun. Qasirun is short. So what are you going to put here? So I can say al-waladu ghaniyun. The boy is rich. And I can also say at-tabibu or at-talibu, as we encountered. At-talibu maridun. And then I can say at-tajiru ghaniyun. And then I can say al-asalu hulwun. And then I can say fufu ladizun. The fufu is delicious. Fufu ladizun. The fufu is delicious. And then I can also say here al-baytu qasirun. The house is short. So this is what I did. So what can you do? Are you able to put some useful nouns in there to say somebody is or something is? Remember, if you want to say something is, now here I need to say al-fufu. I can say al-fufu, right? You can say al-fufu or fufu. Later on, we're going to talk about it in Lughat al-Arabiyya. But remember, alif or lam must start the noun, so that it's going to be like is. If you don't bring the alif or lam, then different connotation can be given to it. So let's move on to the other part. So now we have another tamarind here, two columns. We are doing what we call matching. Ikhtar means choose, right? Al-qa'ima can be a list or column or a table that shows something. So in this qa'ima, column ba and then column a, right? So you want to choose, they're asking you to choose or match, right? You match them appropriately, right? We have at-talibu, the student, ad-dukkan, the store, at-tufahu, the apple, al-ma'u, the water, al-hajaru, the rock or the stone, al-qalamu, the pen. So these are the definite nouns. And then on ba, on the column ba, the qa'imatu ba, we have ladhidun, delicious, maksurun, broken, thaqilun, heavy, maftuhun, open, maridun, sick, harrun, hot or warm. So these are words that we have already encountered. So you match them. So you pick a talibu, and then you pick something here so that you can come out with a logical sentence. So I can say talibu, a-talibu, and then I'll pick this one, maridun, maridun, a-talibu, maridun, right? A-talibu, maridun. So I get a useful logical sentence. The student is sick. So based on this, I hope you'll be able to do the rest, inshallah. Let's go to the final part of the dars. That is the word box. Again, always concentrate of the word on the word box. The word box is very, very important. Like I said earlier, it introduces new words that you have not encountered before. So the word box is like, hey, these are the new words that you need to pay attention to, right? So if I were you, I will make sure that I will review my word box to make sure that I've memorized and also reinforce my knowledge on each and every word in the word box. So al-kalimatu tul jadida. Remember the word jadid, new. So the new words. The new words. Basically, the new words in this lesson. Hulun. We encountered hulun. That is sweet. So in Arabic, remember, if you want to say something is sweet, it tastes like sugar, then you have to say hulun, 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 hulun. Tawilun, tawilun, tall. Now, the word tawilun can also be used for long. There's a difference between tall and long. Maridun, maridun, we've already discussed it. It can be the sick or a person who is sick. And then we have faqirun. Faqirun is poor. And then we have dukkanun, store or shop. Dukkanun. Do you have a dukkan? Do you have a shop? Do you have a store? Qasirun. Qasirun is short. Qasirun is short. Ghaniyun is rich or wealthy. So ghaniyun can be a person who, either possesses tangible wealth or intangible wealth, or you can call it solid or liquid. Doesn't matter. Please use the word ghaniyun or ghaniyun. Then we have finally tufah. The tufah is the apple. So these are new words that you have to pay attention on before you move to the dars number 4. So please don't do another dars until you have mastered this dars, because the words are going to be pushed on. And that's the style of this book. It keeps on pushing the words from behind to the front. And then it will provide you new words in the word box. So if you don't master your vocabularies or words, then as you go deeper into the book, you're going to get confused because you keep on asking yourself, what is this? What is this? What is this? But if you know them already, it makes the learning of this book very interesting, and then you improve very rapidly. Now, We started this lesson by talking about huruf al-qamariyya and huruf al-shamsiyya, right? And this is the summary of it. So qamariyya, we say the moon letters or alphabets, if you will. And then shamsiyya, the sun letters. So it's qamarun. Qamarun in Arabic, al-qamaru, as you know, is what? Is the moon. And then ash-shamsu is the sun. Now, because the word al, look at that, al-qamaru is having al, then the Arab people said, okay, any word that behaves or has this kind of attribute, we call it kamariya. And then if the word is ash-shamsu, ash-shamsu is the sun. So ash-shamsu. So any word that behaves like the pronunciation of shamsu, then we're going to call it shamsiya. And that's how they got it. Qamariya and Shamsiya. And as I said, you don't have to memorize this, but you have to know that they exist. And as you travel through the learning process of Lughatul Arabiya, it's going to come to you as a second nature or even first nature, if you will. You'll be able to identify and say them very correctly all the time. But it's good to pay attention to them, but please don't try to memorize them. So, but just be aware that sometimes you have to say al-abu, right? Al-abu. Al-abu means the dad or the father. Al-babu, the door, the door. Jim. So this is telling you that this is a moon, huruf kamariya, the moon letters here, and the sun letters on the left side. So al-abu, ba, al-babu, ba. So it's telling you that ba is what? A moon letter. Ba. An example, al-babu. But there are so many words in Arabic that start with ba, 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 just like English. If you're talking about a letter that starts with T or B or C, you're going to get a lot. But here he's giving just one example. It doesn't mean that it's only the babun, al-babun, that is the moon letter. There are so many of them. And this is to say you have to treat any word that starts with ba, right? Like that. So if you are adding the definite article to any letter in Arabic that has a ba, then you have to say al-ba or al-bu or al-bi. And then jim, he used the word jannah. That is to say, for example, okay, easy, for example. So that is what you have to treat it. It doesn't mean that only the jannah is the moon letter. There are so many, but this is an example, e.g. Ja, Jim, al-jannatu. Al-jannatu means the garden, right? And then it can also mean the paradise. Literally, al-jannah means the garden, right? The garden. But in Islam, when we say Jannah, we're talking about paradise, which is the same. It's a beautiful place. May Allah grant us Jannah. Al-himaru, the donkey. Al-khubzu, khubzun, bread. Al-khubzu, khubz is bread. Ain, al-ainu, eye. Eye is ainun. Gha, al-ghada'u, gha, al-ghada'u. So you can see that with the Qamariya letters, we are saying al-abu, the first one, al-babu, al-jannatu, al-himaru, al-khubzu, 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 al-khubzu. And then we say al-ainu, al-ainu. One more time. Al-ainu, al-ainu. And then we have al-ghada'u, الغداء. الغداء. When we say غدا, غدا, lunch, lunch. But in some Arabic quarters, they consider غدا, and so al-غدا, lunch, the food you eat, right? Lunch. Al-غداء, lunch. غدا, lunch. So if you haven't eaten your lunch, go get it. Al-غداء. 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 It can be lunch. And they say it's a wajba, right? It can also be awal in nahar, right? Early in the daytime. So the meaning in Lughat al-Arabiyya for al-ghada is kind of very tricky, right? So they say it's al-aql min tulu al-fajr ila al-dhuhr. You see? It can also be considered as breakfast because the concept of lunch and breakfast is European. But in Lughat al-Arabiyya, when they say ghada, it may mean lunch or breakfast. Because when we say ghada in Arabic, literally, they say awwal al-nahar aw wasatuhu, or they say akl min tulu al-fajr ila dhuhr. You see, it's a food. So it can be wajba awwal al-nahar aw wasatuhu. You see, it can be a food that you eat early in the daytime or in the middle of the daytime. So what food is that? That's the definition of ghada in Lughat al-Arabiyya. So, and in Arabic too, when they say ghadat, they mean ma bain al-fajr wa tulu al-shams. Anything that is between fajr time and tulu al-shams, sunrise. So between fajr and sunrise, there can be breakfast there and there can be lunch. So the word ghada is very tricky in Lughat al-Arabiyya. So, but here what we're trying to know is that um al-ghada, the ghain is huruf al-qamariyya. So we have to say al-ghada'u. Fa, famu, fa, famu. That is an example of it. When we say famu, the mouth, right? Your mouth is famu. And then we have qa, al-qamaru, the moon. So the moon, qa, al-qamaru. So we get the qamariya from qaf, qamaru, al-qamaru, the moon. And let's see, al-kaf, al-kalbu. Kalb, we know is a dog, the dog. Meme, meme, we say al-ma'u, al-ma'u. So any word that starts with meme, we say al-al if we are attaching the definite article. Wa al-waladu, wa al-waladu, the boy. Then we have ha al-hawa'u, ha al-hawa'u, ha al-hawa'u. Now be very careful here. This ha is a different ha. Some people will call it the big ha, right? It's not ha. It's not ha. This is hawa'u. Hawa'u. The word hawa can be the air you breathe, or it can be the atmosphere. So when you encounter hawa later on, hawa can be the air. And then you can also put even wind here. Wind. Hawa can be the atmosphere. It can be the climate. It's the same word. But here, what interests us is ha is a letter that belongs to the moon letters. So al-hawa'u, ya, yadu, yadu, yadun, yadun, a hand. Al-yadu, the hand. So al-yadu. So as you can see, 14 letters. So 14 letters of the Arabic letters or alphabets are Qamariya. And the other 14 is Shamsiya. Now let's look at how we deal with Shamsiya letters. Like as I said, with Shamsiya, the definite article al, the lam is ignored or the lam is silent. You don't have to pronounce it. So the alif is given a vowel of M. And then you add it to the letter that comes after the lam. So in this instance, ta, the letter ta is Shamsiya. So we say tajiru, tajiru, tajiru. So at-tajir is a merchant. At-tajir is a merchant. Very, very, very important. And then we have than, tha, 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 athawbu, athawbu. The letter tha is pronounced by placing the tip of your tongue against the upper part of your teeth, and then you push it. It's like in English, the. Tha, tha, tha. It's not sa, it's tha. So make sure the tip of your tongue goes up, hit the back of the upper teeth, then you pronounce it. Tha, tha, tha. We have thawbun, thawbun. The word thawbun can also mean so many different kinds of stuff in Lughat al-Arabiyya. But here what interests us is thawb. Thawb. Anything you wear is thawb. Okay. Anything that you can wear to cover your body is thawb. And by body, the entire part of your body. So we can talk about apparel, right? Thawb can be apparel. And then thawb can be what we know, clothes. And then thawb can be dress. Thawb can be dress. And then it can be garment too. Any word that in English or attire, you have an attire. And then you can have garment, a thawb. And then you can have, it can be formal or informal, right? And then thawb can also be robe, the robe. So it's a word, has so many meanings, but anything that you wear is thawbun. Remember, we encountered qamisun, which is a different, from thawbun. Qamis is a shirt, right? Thawbun is basically like anything you wear, dress, clothes, robe, tie, garment, suit, t-shirt, thawb. Let's look at deekun. Deek, we talk about it. That's the rooster. So dal is a shamsiya letter. So we say ad-deeku. The is shamsiya letter. We say ad-dhahabu. Ad-dhahabu in Arabic means gold. Dhahabun, gold. Dhahabun, gold. Ar-rajulu, the man. We've encountered this word already. Ar-rajulu. And then we have za for zahra. Za for zahra. This word has traveled a lot and it's a name that you often hear used for a woman. Zahra. It goes, but the origin is Arabic. Zahra. Zahra, we say flower. Zahra, a flower. So if a woman is called Zahra, he's a flower. Zahra. Zahra is a flower. The letter za is shamsiya, seen, as-samak, fish, as-samak, samakun, fish, samakun, fish. And then we have ash-shamsu, the sun. So it's from it that we got shamsiya, ash-shamsu, the sun. As-sadru, your sadr is your chest. As-sadr. Your chest is your sadr. And then we have bayfun. Bayfun is a guest or ضيف is a visitor. ضيف, ضا, ضيف, ضا. Then we have to say الضيف, الضيف, the visitor or the guest. The guest or the visitor. الضيف. طا, الطالب, the student. We've met this word. Then we have the word ظهر. ظهر. The word ظهر too can mean so many things in اللغة العربية. So let's look at some of the possible meaning. Later on, you can know. We have ظهر. Don't confuse it with ظهر. Okay, don't confuse it with what? ظهر. We say ظهر and ظهر. ظهر can be back, the back of something, or we can say the rear, if you will. ظهر, the rear, back, the back of something. We say ظهر. And then the word ظهر too can also be the top of something. And it can also mean the face. But here, the writer is trying to use it for the back. The back. The back. Your back, ظهر. Back, ظهر. Back. Not ظهر. ظا, with the fatha on the ظا. ظهر. Your back. Your back is your ظهر, or your rear. And then we have لحم. La for اللحم. La for اللحم. Lemon is meat. Lemon is meat. Meat, right? Meat. Lemon. If you like lemon dajaja or deep, lemon deep, that is the meat of the rooster. I'm sorry. And then we have an-najmu. We've already encountered this word. Noon for an-najmu. So as you can see, we have 14 letters to here for Shamsiya. And then we have 14 letters for Qamariya. So total, we have 28 letters. So the 28 letters in Arabic is divided or categorized into the moon letters and the sun letters. And each is treated differently in relation to the definite article al, which we have already explained. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Come again, inshallah, very soon for the next. Dumtum bi khair. Assalamu alaikum.